Oh my gosh, Florida State versus Boston College. What did we learn? After coming off of a week where I absolutely hyped up Florida State for convincingly beating LSU, Florida State came out to Boston College and played one of the just pure worst games that I have seen Florida State play in a while. Florida State came into this game as 25.5 favorites, and with Boston College playing one of the worst games that they have played themselves, Florida State was only able to win by 2 points. And what honestly made it even worse, it wasn't even the fact that Florida State lost this game. It was the fact that Boston College lost this game. If Boston College would have not, forget shooting yourself in the foot, if they would have stopped jumping off of a cliff, they would have convincingly won this game. I took my hat off to Thomas Castellanos. He is a sophomore. Hit the transfer portal immediately and go play for a bigger program. You have so much talent that you should not even be at Boston College right now. Thomas Castellanos, the Boston College quarterback, went 20 for 33, throwing for 305 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception, but was also Boston College's leading rusher with 16 carries for 95 yards and another touchdown. Thomas Castellanos was a simple one-man offense out there. Like, there was nobody else that was consistently doing anything for Boston College other than Thomas Castellanos. Thomas Castellanos went out there and had 6 different receivers with double-digit receiving yards, was spreading the ball out super effectively, was not really putting the ball into harm's way. He did have an interception, but that was a phenomenal play by the corner. But overall, wasn't making a whole lot of bad decisions, was doing a phenomenal job of being able to run around out there because Florida State has one of the best defensive lines in the country, and they just weren't able to get home on him. Like, he was absolutely flying around out there. But let's really get into this. I'm not really gonna be breaking down Boston College. If you're here for a Boston College segment of this video, pretty much you guys need to stop scoring unadvised penalties on yourself. Or once you stop shooting yourself in the foot, then you can go out there and have a solid rest of your season. But overall, I'm primarily here to talk about Florida State. I absolutely hated how Florida State played this game. Coming out of the gates, Boston College set the tone and was the first team to score, and they went out there and they did it convincingly by running the ball. Again, the same way that Florida State struggled last week versus LSU and stopping a mobile quarterback, they had the same struggles this week. But not only were they struggling to stop a mobile quarterback, the middle of the field just never seemed to be effectively guarded. I mean, you just had wide receivers running wide open in the middle of the field. Linebackers not playing deep enough. Like, there were just these huge gaps in the secondary that you would have thought that Florida State, with the amazing athletes that they have in that secondary, they would have been able to cover it better. Overall, it really did look like, to start off in the first quarter, Florida State came into Boston College and was just like, we just beat LSU. We're the 3rd best team in the country. All right, y'all can just bow out now. We're just gonna get this easy win, and then we're gonna keep it pushing. No, Boston College came to play. Now, I wanna hit on this because this was just absolutely insane, and you're probably never going to see something like this happen in college football. Definitely not frequently. In this game, Boston College had 18 penalties for 131 yards. Anytime that Boston College did anything right, it was probably coming back, or they had like 9 false start penalties at home. Like, it literally made no sense how bad Boston College was playing when it came to penalties. And the reason why I say that is because Florida State went out there and in the second and third quarter played like they were supposed to play, at least the full second quarter and then the back half of the third quarter. They went out there and put up 28 points in the second and third quarters combined compared to Boston College's 9 points. They did a phenomenal job of helping keep Thomas Castellanos more in contain, not really let Boston College run the ball. And then Florida State's defense really woke up, completely nullified Boston College offense, as well as Florida State went out there and just did what they were supposed to do. Johnny Wilson was making big time plays. Jaheim Bell was making big time plays. Overall, they were moving the ball effectively. And then that was another thing. They got comfortable again. I really did not like that. It seemed through the entirety of this game, Florida State was just trying to find a moment where they could just take their foot off the gas. It never really looked like they were out there for blood to really like, hey, we're trying to make a statement that we really are a top 5 team in the country. And so we need to go out here and beat the Boston Colleges by 25 like they're projected. They were supposed to go out here and get an easy win, but it just looked like they were just trying to find like, oh, you know, like, all right, you know, Boston College, they keep on making their own mistakes. Like, all right, okay, we're up 21. All right, we can take our foot off the gas. We don't really have to worry about them. Nothing crazy is gonna happen. And over the course of a quarter and a half, Florida State gave up 21 unanswered points, and they finished off this game with 3 punts, a fumble, and almost lost this game if it wasn't for Boston College committing their 18th penalty on a face mask on a 3rd and short run that Florida State was not able to convert on. To me, Florida State showed absolutely none of the makings of a playoff team or even a top 5 team. They did such a poor job of, when you're in these positions, you need to go out there and dominate. Funny enough, one of the things I wanted to touch on is it almost seemed like their pass rush was too effective, but really what it was is their pass rushers have to stop going upfield so much. The defensive line, the guard, the nose tackles, they're stalemating the interior offensive line most of the times. They're getting a little bit of penetration here and there, but Florida State, where they really shine, is their edge rushers. They need to stop screaming upfield so much, because all the quarterback has to do is just slide back up into the pocket and then take off. And that was what was going on every single time. Jaron Verse was going out there, and every single time Thomas would just slide up into the pocket, take off 15, 20 yard run. It was insanity. Like, I don't understand how Florida State was not able to play better when it came to corralling the quarterback. Like, you guys just, like, Boston College just saw what Jaden Daniels did to you versus LSU last week. They're gonna try and copy that, especially when they have an equal, if not even more mobile quarterback than Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't see how they weren't prepared for that game plan. But Florida State they played so bad. They came into this game and they were like, oh, we're just gonna win. And then they finally got that winning mentality in the second and the mid half of the 3rd quarter. And then they just rolled over. Like, it was just like they were just hoping that Boston College wouldn't beat them. Like, Boston College Florida State absolutely just fell apart, and it was so tough to watch. I mean, Jordan Travis in this game, he went 15 for 24 for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then pretty much Florida State had like a plethora of running backs who ran the ball. They had Rodney Hill, who had 5 carries for 42 yards. They had Trey Benson, who had 12 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown, but he also had a fumble. Jordan Travis had 4 carries for 38 yards, and Lawrence Toafili had 7 carries for 24 yards, and he also had a fumble. And if we want to talk about last week, where was Keon Coleman? Keon Coleman was by far Florida State's best receiver last week versus LSU. He didn't have a single catch in this game. He had 1 end around, and then I think he ended up getting kind of hurt a little bit. But he didn't get hurt in the first quarter. Like, why weren't they trying to target him more? Florida State had absolutely nothing going in their favor besides Boston College giving them great field position and giving them the ball in advantageous spots. Like, this was just a bad game. All my Florida State fans, I need to hear from y'all, because there was no redeeming factor that I saw in this game. It would have been different if it was like a shootout and then Florida State came out at the end of the game and was like, you know what, we're gonna show that we could really hang in these tough games, and then goes out there and wins. No. They're so lucky that they are not 1-1 right now, and that Boston College did not upset them. This was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Florida State, you need to get it together. You're playing in-state or in-conference rival Clemson next week. Clemson's already got their issues of their own. I want to see Florida State be good. I really, really, really want to see Florida State be good. Mike Norvell, go out there, figure it out. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this was a coaching thing. I don't know if this was just a players thing where they thought that they could just win. I don't know if Boston College really just played that amazing of a game versus y'all. I really don't know. After looking at this game, I'm gonna lean more towards a mix of Boston College really came out here and played a phenomenal game, and they just kept on shooting themselves in the foot, and then the players just they just never really, they just didn't have that heart to, like, we're playing LSU, yeah, we need to be tough versus LSU. Or we're playing Boston College, okay. Don't play to the level of your competition. Play to the level that Florida State knows how to play at. I want to hear from y'all. Comment your thoughts down below. Leave this video a like. Hit that subscribe button. The highs and lows of the college football season, boys and girls. The highs and the lows of the college football season. But hey, overall, Florida State's 2-0. They're gonna still be a top 5 team in the country. This was just a tough game to watch, but they ended up coming out with the dub. Leave this video a like, hit the subscribe button. I love and appreciate all y'all. Hope that you have a super blessed rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.